Jack Doherty's OnlyFans agency isn't just falling apart. It's getting dangerously close to being completely shut down. For days now, Jack has been sinking deeper into legal trouble, and things just hit a whole new level. He's facing probation, which could permanently put an end to his chaotic, nuisance-style streaming. But that's not even the biggest problem. Jack might be walking straight into an even bigger storm that could destroy his income for real this time. His main moneymaker, the OnlyFans agency, may be the next target, and if that gets hit, his entire situation could flip upside down overnight.
People dislike how they promote themselves, as they essentially paddle this adult content straight to kids. And it's very clear by the way they market themselves. A little bit of a stretch though, but the dude did call him out for being soulless.
After McKinley dropped all the evidence on Jack Doherty, Child Protective Services is gearing up to investigate him yet again. And this time, the stakes are way higher. If the investigation goes through and the findings are serious, Jack could end up with strict probation that might not only restrict his online activity, but potentially force him to shut down his OnlyFans agency for good.
He really wants to get back at him, and she's really mad about that. It's simple. It's so easy to get a restraining order right now based on just these activities.
I'm going to break everything down for you in this video, so make sure you stick around until the end. I'll show you the evidence and proof stacked against Jack Doherty. Proof that suggests his agency has been promoting illegal adult content to minors, a move that could completely destroy his business in the long run. But before we go deeper into that mess, let's shift gears and talk about Jack's surprising answer when a podcast host asked if he'd ever marry an OnlyFans girl. When they asked if he'd date someone from OnlyFans, Jack laughed and said, "I gotta just be the breadwinner," revealing a lot more than he probably
date a girl at the OnlyFans?
I gotta just be the breadwinner. I don't know, I feel weird.
A lot of these OnlyFans chicks are rich, right?
They are.
You wouldn't marry though. Like, you're not marrying an OnlyFans.
I mean, maybe I would have, but like at this point, like it's probably not worth it. Like, you know?
Well, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't think I'd marry a OnlyFans girl now. You know, there's no point.
Why would Jack even consider marrying an OnlyFans girl in the first place? At this point, it honestly feels like he's just using these women for his agency and nothing else. Jack often comes off as exploitative, treating the girls around him like tools to generate money. And the sad part is that the top creators on the platform don't even know who he is, meaning there's no real upside for him anyway. That's exactly why the girls in his agency are getting increasingly frustrated, especially when he disrespects them or humiliates them live on stream. And here's the dangerous part for Jack. If even one of these models decides to speak out publicly, it could pour gasoline on the investigations already circling him and create a massive problem for him down the line.
The difference between me and other people are that they spew lies, and I actually spoke the truth with proof, evidence, and all that stuff. So I don't care about what anyone has to say. They're just liars.
Yeah, McKinley, you're not exactly the guy people usually praise, but now that you're calling out Jack Doherty, the logic behind what you're saying actually adds up. What McKinley exposed about Jack is genuinely disturbing, and if even a fraction of it turns out to be true, then Jack absolutely deserves to face real consequences for his actions.
I think the Florida crimes he just committed makes the perfect legal basis for a restraining order. At a very bare minimum, McKinley could hit him with a restraining order.
These are the details you really need to pay attention to, because they could be the very things that push Jack Doherty toward facing permanent prison time once again. And it doesn't end there. The entire situation is spiraling out of his own OnlyFans agency. The accusations keep stacking up. Claims that Jack has been abusive toward the women he works with, along with disturbing allegations that he tried to involve underage girls, which is now a major concern for authorities. If any of this is proven true, his agency could be banned and shut down completely. On top of that, it's becoming increasingly clear that Jack might no longer be paying the women or delivering the profits he promised them, which makes the situation even more serious. Think about it. If the very girls who built his biggest revenue streams aren't getting paid, why would they stay? These women were the backbone of his entire operation, and now, one by one, they're walking.
You walk away from me. How can I walk away from you? That's what I'm saying. Like, all you have one job is just to follow me.
No, I'm not gonna.
True.
Follow.
Should rock that shit.
Just like we saw with McKinley and now Christie, The steady stream of models walking away has turned Jack Doherty's so-called agency into a full-blown disaster, a shady, collapsing business with zero credibility left. And it gets worse. Authorities have started keeping a very close eye on Jack's operation, and the legal issues piling up are not looking good. Investigators already know he's violated multiple laws and regulations, adding even more fuel to his downfall. If all these allegations and active investigations line up, this could be the final blow, the end of Jack Doherty and his entire sketchy operation. That's exactly why people are pressing him everywhere he goes, confronting him, humiliating him, even cursing him out in public. The backlash is growing, and it's another reason authorities are paying more attention to his situation. Since Jack's recent arrest, the spotlight on him has only intensified, and if investigators conclude that he repeatedly broke serious laws, especially through his OnlyFans agency, the consequences could be catastrophic. His agency could be permanently banned, and even creators like TOI have said that if these allegations are true, Jack could be looking at years behind bars.
Dislike how they promote themselves, as they essentially paddle this adult content straight to kids, and it's very clear by the way they market themselves. A little bit of a stretch though, but the dude did call him out for being soulless, and now they were arrested for filming a gambling promotion in the middle of the street. He was breaking the law while in possession of things that he shouldn't have, so he was being a complete moron. But with him, that's nothing new, because his entire life is kind of like a skill issue. And currently he's now facing 7 years in prison. So Jack Doherty just got hit with 3 separate charges in Florida, and the max penalties are worse than what people think, because he's facing a felony for possession of controlled substances, which alone can carry 5 years in prison. Then he has possession of under 20 G's of that Bob Marley special, which is a first-degree misdemeanor with up to 1 year in jail. And then on top of that, he's being charged with resisting an officer without violence, which is another possible year. So altogether stacked, he's technically looking at up to 7 years behind bars in an absolute worst-case scenario. Realistically, though, he probably won't see anything near this because, you know, from what I can tell, he's a first-time offender, so he'll probably just end up getting probation or some sort of diversion.
Yeah, I actually agree with TOI on this one. If Jack Doherty ends up with any kind of probation, there's no way he'll be able to keep running his OnlyFans agency. It's simply not happening. If authorities confirm that the agency broke multiple laws, especially by pushing adult content to underage viewers through Jack's streams, that alone could get his streaming banned entirely. And now with everything coming out, the way Jack treated the girls in his agency is finally being exposed. At first, when big creators compared him to Epstein, people thought it was exaggerated. But with all the new evidence surfacing, it's starting to look shockingly real. If these leaks keep coming, Jack could be facing very serious legal trouble. The internet is already turning against him. Just look at the comments. One person wrote, "This proves all you need is money and women will still hang around you. Jack is one of the most feminine dudes I've ever seen. A brat, a punk, and girls still sleep with him." Another said, "Jack Doherty might be the worst influencer in history. I genuinely can't stand him." Someone else added, "Jack needs to be banned from the internet and get a real job." And the harshest one, "When he hits his 30s and 40s, he won't be able to do any of this. He'll end up broke, back living with his parents." These aren't just trolls. People are making real, logical points, and public opinion around Jack is getting darker by the day. So that's the full breakdown of what's really happening behind the scenes. Jack isn't just dealing with one issue. Everything is crashing down at once. From the investigations to his streaming behavior to the mess surrounding his agency, it's all catching up to him fast. Now everything depends on what the authorities decide next. Can Jack survive this storm, or is it already too late for him? Let me know in the comments what you think. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and definitely drop a comment below.